I'll start. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 23 of Comedy Guy with Louis Zezeran. And here I am. I've got my man. We are going to talk all about being a DJ. Philip Nikolajev.
Yo, man.
DJ PhilGood.
Hello, hello, hello.
Good, man. I'm really happy you could come in here and talk. Thank you.
No props, man.
Because hey, I've known you for a bunch of years now, and you're a great DJ. I think well regarded on the scene. Doing really good. I guess mostly I've known you as you were opening for Sander a whole bunch of times as well.
Yeah. We known each other with Sander a long time. Long time. From Tartu, yeah.
And so what I'm going to talk to you today about is like just what it's like. So the idea of this podcast is I know about how to manage comedians, or so I imagine, or so I like think. Probably not, but
yeah,
all right.
You do.
A little bit, bit of pieces. But I want to then talk to other people about what it's like to be in other artistic forms.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk to you about what it's like being a DJ in Estonia, how, I don't know, just like people don't know, like maybe if you're a young DJ and you're trying to start, get going, what might be some realistic things as well. Like,
I hope I will remember, man. It's been a long time.
Oh, he's up the tree so far. He's really this guy. So, but anyway, start just by telling us, what do you do right now? What, like day to day, what does DJ PhilGood do?
DJ PhilGood, well, I still DJ.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, I had like a month without DJing, like this last month.
Mm-hmm.
So I had like maybe a gig like in beginning of May. Then I had like a little hiatus.
Why was that? Why did you have time off?
Well, I went to Georgia and just chilled for a second, and plus a lot of stuff going on with the band, Gramophone as well right now. So just like put the brakes for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just only a month that I could be without. Like I'm an addict to DJing, man. I need it. Basically, it just gets you. So be careful, young DJs.
It's the same with stand-up, bro. Like stand-up comedians can't go 3 days.
And I had like the best week ever. Like last week, I played three shows, and it was just like the best week ever.
What 3 shows were they? Were they clubs or some sort of outdoor thing?
Clubs.
Yeah, nice.
Tartu, Tallinn, and Pärnu. Actually, all 3 cities that I love to play at.
Yeah, right.
Basically, it was just perfect. Just
having a good time. Okay, so you're working on, you're still doing sets in clubs, grinding it out, doing the thing. I mean, that would be like stand-up comedy. We love going to the comedy club, doing a set. We always want to do that.
Exactly.
But tell me about, I've heard of Gramophone a bit, but I didn't really know, I don't know nothing, right? Where does it fit in? What, it's a band? What's going on with Gramophone?
It started like 3 DJs, me, DJ Mudo and DJ Janiago, just like going to the studio and doing some edits and remixes. And then was like, it just like really, really logically morphed into a band when we met with Kristel Aslaid, singer.
Yeah.
So when she just came to the studio and we just like played her some beats, and it's just so chill to hang with her, and she's just like one of the guys. She was like second like that. She was there. So it's like, all right, this is a band now.
Right.
And now in the same studio we got a lot of other musicians. So it's like we're like squatting basically an old building when there's like from 7-8 different studios, different bands. So it's just a perfect place to make music. So we just like open the door. Does somebody know how to play guitar? He's like, Raul Ojamaa coming. Yeah, I know. He's like Mr. Awards, Raul Ojamaa, if you know him.
No, I don't know.
Like Miljardit, the band. And,
nice.
Like written all sorts of good stuff. And he's like, yeah, I'm there. Does somebody know how to play bass? And Kostya Chibulevsky, the guy who plays at Vaiko Eplik and and his band Levski, he's like, yeah, I can sing as well.
That's
so
fantastic,
it's
tremendous.
Like, it's all a band now. Basically.
So you're writing some music and then you're going, oh, we need a guitar bit, we need a bass in here or something like that.
Exactly.
And why would you, in that instance, it just sounds cool, like you wouldn't just take a sample or something like that. You're like, no, I really want that real sound on this song.
I think that's the thing that's unified us, us 3 DJs as well. Like the tastes of music that we love, the realness of it. You know, we sample a lot of stuff as well. I think it talks much about our history as well, because we've all been in bands before. Like Martin, he's like done 70 bands before that. I had like 3-4 bands in Tartu when I was before DJing. I was playing bass like in death metal bands. And stuff.
Sweet!
Yeah.
Oh, really? Death metal?
Yeah,
shit, bro! Black T-shirt and everything. Yeah.
Black Sabbath T-shirt.
Nice.
So yeah, it's just much more fun to like record the real guitar and the real bass and just jamming, you know.
Cool. Are you guys and what work with Gramophone, then you're doing live. I see you around. Are you doing a bunch of live stuff as well? Do you, this day and age, this is very interesting then. So you're getting together, you're an ensemble, you're doing some good shit. Do you still work towards doing an album? Is that what the thing is now still?
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
What's the thing? How do you release and package together music now?
We just released an EP, like 4 songs, because we had like released a single before, and it was just like too little, you know. It was like all this promotion just for one song. It was just, and you could see those people like just wanting more as well.
And you didn't have any more out at that stage.
We didn't have any more. We basically toured the whole year with one song.
Okay.
We had like a lot more songs, but only one song out. So basically, all right, some remixes and mashups that we still do live as well. So we just wanted like to give a bit more, and you can see it right now. Like now, after the EP released, you can see people singing the lyrics and stuff, and they're like, "Oh shit, I know this song!" You know,
it's tremendous.
So it's I think EPs is like the maximum for right now for us. I think we're just thinking about like next one to do it like in October, November, or some.
How long is the EP, or how many tracks?
It's maximum 5. So LP is like 5+, and so our EP was 4 songs.
Nice. And how do you distribute that? How can people get that EP?
Digitally.
Okay.
Right now we're doing just digital stuff, and we're actually our thing is because Tauri Birken, DJ Vazar, an old friend of mine, he just did like perfect artwork for it. So when we saw it, we're like, all right, we need this on vinyl. Because you just love those those artworks, like in the vinyls. That's like 50% why I buy vinyls is just, oh shit, that looks really nice. I need that at my house. So we're thinking of doing like when we release the second EP, we're gonna release them all together on one album. One vinyl, 2 EPs basically.
And that's how do you, when you distribute digitally, where do you put it? Where is it for sale, for example?
Everywhere basically. Amazon, Apple Music. Mostly in Estonia, people don't buy actually.
Right.
Streaming. So Spotify is like.
And you're on that. So is it both? Because I remember when I have a little bit of experience with this because we put Ardo's first audio stand-up album to streaming services, but like there's streaming services. So but that's Apple Music, and then there's the iTunes store where you can buy a copy. So you put it on both of those?
Basically there's like a program, you just like upload it and then it uploads it everywhere.
Right, okay.
You can buy it from Apple Music, you can buy it from Google Play. That's a tip for DJs actually. Always buy it from Google Play because it's better sound quality. iTunes is 256, so it's shittier, and they don't let you to re-download it. So you buy it once, you lose your computer or something, it's gone. You don't have it anymore.
But there's a difference because that's the buying, not the streaming, right? Okay, but I can do both. I could go to Spotify and stream your music, or if I really like it, I could buy it, download it, keep it locally.
Yeah. But I think only DJs are the ones who are buying it right now.
Okay.
Because nobody else, basically there's internet everywhere, and you can like go offline mode with Spotify and everything. So buying is like... even buying digitally is already, it's an old
I think so too. I have that Apple Music subscription. I'm like, why would I?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would I do that?
It's like, it's only for DJs. So basically, I buy a lot of music still. It's like, just I have to. But that's going to change, I think, in a sec as well. I just updated my Serato, the DVS I'm playing with.
Okay, yep.
And now it has a function. You can buy like from Tidal, Jay-Z's streaming service, and SoundCloud. You can buy like the streaming rights, so you can play. You can already DJ while streaming songs.
No shit.
There's already like Spotify doing the same thing.
Okay.
Like
and it's licensed for that, so you're paying a bit or whatever.
So basically, I think like in 10 to 15 years, every DJ is gonna have every song basically.
Sure.
So you won't gonna have an excuse if anybody comes in like. Yo, my girl has a birthday. Can you play a birthday song? It's like, you always go like, fuck off, man.
Yeah, because that's the excuse. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but you got Spotify, man. There's like everything's there. So we're running out of excuses. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, that it's on the streaming services now, and I've had experience with that as well. We put Ardo's one up to some service, and for a certain amount of money, like it's not like we're getting a lot of streams of that, but also I noticed it seems to be that as well in Estonia, Spotify is abnormally larger. Like in the video world, YouTube is the big daddy, but then there's a little bit of Vimeo somewhere, and then in Estonia, like this second, like Spotify and the rest of the world is almost a second or third player, really.
I can't even comment on that. What's the number one? Do you think
Apple and Google? Apple and Google
all right,
would be number one. But I think in the rest of the world, Spotify is a bit like, yeah, it's nice, but it seems to be quite prominent here.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Good promotion, I think, from Spotify then, if they really got hooked people on that.
Because that's also one of the reasons why Tusisoya podcast took off originally. That Ari got it very early. It might even been the first to be podcast on Spotify in Estonia.
All right.
And now anyone can do it. All of the podcasts are on there. But because Spotify was abnormally popular in Estonia, and he got them onto that, or they might have reached out to him to some sort of arrangement, that definitely propelled it forward a little bit.
Another tip for young artists.
There we go.
Always look for new stuff, like when like some new Facebook coming or some new Instagram coming or some new Spotify coming, be the first there. So just
that's it.
Always.
Because I guess with all the different services, it doesn't matter. Like you're trying to put your song everywhere. Like there's no risk to you to just put it on every goddamn service you can find, is there?
No. It's the more the merrier. That's why I love. It's sad to see like the CDs and the albums and vinyls go out of fashion, say, like people listening to music differently nowadays. But it's in other sense, it's like it's amazing. I was just looking at our stats in Spotify, who's playing. We're like, oh, Mexico loves us. Like what?
I love it.
You couldn't get it like before that.
Senor, this music, it comes from Estonia. So interesting, man. Have you heard now that you guys have put this EP out and you've got your sort of that first song that was quite popular in the EP? Are you now hearing other DJs take that and remix that? And is that the cycle of music, how it becomes, and others will then take yours and sample and so forth?
Well, I've been like, if you're talking about the gramophone music.
Yeah, the gramophone music, sorry.
Gramophone music, then we've been like, because I have a lot of friends, DJs, who produce as well. I've been just like sending them stems of the songs, like freely sending them.
What's a stem? What do you mean by stem?
Well, basically drums, guitars, everything like in a part.
Oh,
it's
okay, right.
It's a stem, basically. We're sending them samples, basically. The whole song, just going, remix that, please. So I got like some people right now working on some cool remixes, I hope. So we're gonna release that as well.
Because that's what you want, I guess, because that's then getting your work out even more.
Yeah, of course. And it's just awesome when like DJs come to you and like, oh shit, I love this song. Can you please send me this tune? I want to remix it. So it's like, oh, it's like the best compliment you can get.
Hell yeah.
And well, it's perfect because we already got like a remix from Pauloja and one drum and bass DJ, Audioholic. And our music is like a bit funky, but it's still indie, so it's not really club music. But it's perfect when like Pauloja did the remix, like a trap remix, or now we can play it at a club studio, no problem. So it's like the music is on different levels. And this other drum and bass DJ, because of him, we're big in Mexico. Actually, I think drum and bass is big there.
Okay.
So because of him, now drum and bass parties can play our song as well. So it's all connected, basically.
Super interesting. And it took a whole separate artist, a whole separate DJ to then do it in a different way. And you're like, fuck, I want to play that. I want to play my song in that different way.
Exactly.
Oh, I love that collaborative nature of music, the way that someone can take it and rechange it, because that's something like we don't do that in stand-up. We kind of don't have that concept. Our joke is ours.
Yeah, you kind of hate the other guy who like
you don't remix, you don't steal. You like maybe you take an idea.
That's the same thing in DJ world as well, actually, because we don't really like. There's some like routines we do. There's some in some songs, and you can sometimes like hear the DJ doing the same routine. Go like, you motherfucker, you stole it from me.
So the pattern of the
can I curse here?
Absolutely. Fuck yeah, you can. Yeah, whenever you want. You can drop your pants. You can fucking
I'm good.
Smoke here if you want. Hopefully not something too illegal. Whatever you like. We don't care.
All right.
Yeah, right. So that, and when you say the things, that's what, like the pattern of mixing or the moment that you mix the two tracks together, or some sort of pattern in that way.
It has happened. It's like, it's really like when when all working DJs, they usually see each other after the sets, so it's like rare you can hear somebody else play like here locally. But sometimes when you do, it happens to be sometimes a couple of times. You know who you are, you motherfuckers.
That happens in stand-up. It can happen also inadvertently maybe as well. Like we do it in stand-up. Like you tell a bit and you're like, I don't really know. Like you just listen to so much stand-up, you don't understand that you took a line. You think that it's yours, but you don't understand that actually you heard it
of course.
a year ago and someone said.
I bet I've done it as well.
Sure.
I bet I've done it as well. It's I've started noticing it in stand-up as well. Like I think like people are running out of themes to talk about. Maybe not running out, but there's just some really good themes to talk about. So
there's only so many base human topics, sure. Men and women, you know, job, yeah.
Even like the class guys, I have heard like Dave Chappelle doing like a joke of like, dude, I have heard this joke before somewhere. You know, so I guess it's same with music as well. There's riffs that are like it's just so many like notes on the guitar that you can like put A B C or A C B or like, you know.
Yeah.
So it's bound to happen. I'm guessing.
Right. And I guess then, well, with stand-up, it's the theory is that if it's identified, then you should be humble enough to go like, cool, I'm dropping the line. Like, whatever, I've got a big set. It doesn't matter. Any one bit or line shouldn't really matter to me. Like, sometimes, okay, you're a bit more tired and you like that joke or something like that, or for whatever reason. But the theory is that as soon as you're told, you should be like, yeah, cool, great. I don't need to use that line anymore.
Yep. Can relate to that. I didn't want to play those songs anymore when I heard him playing. It's like, you did it much more shitty than I did. Yeah.
That could be another one.
You ruined it for me, man.
Yeah, maybe if it's your shit, you're still like, nah, fuck it. Nah. If someone else is doing it, I'm confident enough myself as an artist that I'm just going to go make some new stuff. It's fine. Cool.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Like, you have to create new stuff and think of new stuff, I think. So maybe it's even good that they're maybe looking up to you and something like that.
Maybe. It can also be that
maybe I stole it from them, actually. I don't know.
And maybe as well, maybe they don't even understand the protocols around listening and reuse and what is copying and what is influence. Like, people sometimes just come to stand up and they're like, yeah, I heard someone else say it. I'm saying it now. What's the problem? What? And they just genuinely don't know that that's not the done thing in this community. So maybe that can happen with younger DJs. And the problem would be then if it's someone who knows what the fuck they should be doing and then still does it, then this is a problem.
Yeah. It's always good to have some older mentors and friends, who can like tell you that, basically.
Well, that's why you're here, so we can impart some of this goddamn knowledge. Now, let's get a little bit more basic in DJing and shit, right? So you are DJ PhilGood. You're a DJ. We need a DJ. Quick, he's a DJ, and he does DJ things, right? But DJ is super broad thing that could mean so many different things. So if I think to myself, when I think people who are called DJ, right? Just real flat, right? People who could be called DJ are the guy who works at the radio station. Technically, he's called...
Guy named Damien Jr. or something like that.
Damien Jr., he's there. The guy that works at the radio is called DJ. The guy that plays some tracks at someone's wedding is called DJ. Then someone who maybe takes 2 tracks and then mixes and combines them together is called DJ. The guy who plays some songs at the club could be DJ at varying levels. Or then also the guy who puts some new beats together, comes up with something kind of a bit new, has their own extra level of creative input, is also DJ, maybe edging on producer.
Producer, yeah. That's edging on producer already, yeah. But yeah, disc jockey is what it means, basically, DJ. Yeah?
Disc jockey, yeah.
Yeah, disc jockey. So, yeah, in my opinion, it's always been like this guy who can like make a party happen, basically. Like the guy who has like good musical tastes and just goes like, all right, this party needs this song, this let's fucking party, man. That's basically being a DJ, yeah. But yeah, of course, I don't know. And
then there's varying levels of that. So then there's the guy who just plays the tracks. And then there's the guy who may be really great at not only choosing the song that's perfect for the party, but then mixing 2 songs together. And you're like, oh, this guy has produced a 45-minute set, which was really nicely mixed together and all the beats fit, and it really, there was no weird disjointed tracks together. That's like a whole extra level.
Just like a
On
better,
top of
better
that.
DJ.
A better DJ.
Better
Okay,
DJ,
sure.
basically. But yeah, radio DJs, I think we can put them like aside because in my opinion, it's a bit a different breed because it's like selectors. They some of them play. They have both. Like they do the radio shows and they do club nights and do whatever. But it's like two different genres basically. You like selecting songs and you're playing it from zero to the end of the song, right? So, but a DJ is like usually the guy who's in the clubs. For me,
Sure, no, yeah, man. That's why.
It's the guy who goes in the clubs. He really enjoys the artwork of DJing.
Okay.
Like going from one song to another song, like listen to the key of it, like knowing the songs perfectly. Like you have to know the songs perfectly because how would you mix them? How would you know where to go to the next song? Where's the bridge? Where's the everything basically? So it's just like and plus you have to know what works when. Have to read the crowd. You have to like you can like go at the club at 11 o'clock start playing bangers like all the single ladies and stuff like that.
Okay.
You can do it. Just you can do it, but like
It doesn't fit the mood.
Yeah,
So
it
not
doesn't-
only do you need to have the right track that comes next, but you got to fit the mood as well.
exactly. But it's really going interesting places like being DJ like this day because with this new technology. It basically everybody can do like mix like two songs like there's like auto mix and stuff like this.
The computer does a little bit for you, or most of it for you.
Yeah. So another tip for young DJs is practice still at home. You never know when you're gonna turn up in the club and there's like a pair of old CDJ 200s, like where there's nothing, just going basically, you won't go vinyl, but definitely practice at home just without all the computer stuff. And just try to do it by ear.
Isn't that a bit like a bit like cheating to just let the computer mix it? Because then all you're really okay, you've got to know the song then still, and maybe you've got to know the point in the song when to say, hey, start the mixing here and all that. But is it then?
It takes the fun out of it.
Right?
For me,
Yeah.
it's like yeah, of course. Like I don't know if it's cheating because one of the like I can imagine that like most of the DJ who are playing big festivals, they're usually doing it with auto mix.
Wow, really?
Because or even pre-recorded sets.
Yeah.
It might be
I'll
like
plug the USB in. Yeah.
But it's like it's totally understandable because they have like fucking $50,000 light shows with them with every song, so they can't screw up. It's like and basically you have I don't know 100,000 people who are like going like that. If you screw up, it's like oh shit, man.
Right.
It's not your underground club.
Isn't that what you paid the big bucks to do, like as an entertainer?
But they're usually producers, so they're usually playing their own songs.
Okay, all right,
So
true.
there's like-
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they're actually paid for making music. and
Gotcha.
stuff like
That
that.
you're not just
But-
playing someone
But
else's songs.
there's still
yeah.
some like really guru guys like A-Track and guys like really who grew up on like hip hop and scratching and everything and turntablism. Basically, they're the ones who do it properly. Basically, respect.
Oh yeah. In that case, then okay, because I'm thinking about keeping that element of showmanship in it as well. So okay, so maybe your full set is done, but you are more of a producer, so there's original stuff in there as well. You haven't just taken someone else's songs, auto mix them on your laptop at home,
Yeah.
plug the USB in at the festival, and then you wouldn't get there really at that stage if you weren't popular. Then by that
Exactly.
stage,
If you weren't popular,
if you weren't popular
But
already,
that's-
so
it's
yeah.
like it's also gone to a popularity contest nowadays because
Well, so is entertainment, and that's
Yeah, of course,
inherently
of course.
entertainment
Yeah,
industry
yeah,
is
basically,
a little bit like
yeah,
that.
yeah. You can just see those some young DJs coming in and basically, but they have so many friends, so that just the party works. And when the party works, then there's no problem basically. If the party's bumping, then there's like you can't really say anything like, oh, fuck, good job, man.
You would
Good
need
job.
to have a plan for that though, because you can only have your friends there so often. Maybe they're the fire starters. Maybe your
Yeah,
friends
of
come
course,
a
of
little
course,
bit
of
often and a couple of times, but after a while,
They're the
you've gotta-
perfect seed at the first party, basically.
Sure.
Like when you done practicing at home, then when you're done practicing at home, basically invite.
What's next? Yeah, okay.
invite your friends over, have like a party with them, and that's how you get your own party. I think.
Oh yeah.
That's another.
How you learn to do that art form, that master of that.
I think one of the essential things of like being a DJ. It's not compulsory, but I think it's really good to have your own party where you can invite other DJs who will in the future invite you to other places to go to. So it's like a startup basically.
Sure.
So I think you're gonna need your friends when you're doing this.
Yeah, okay. That to have your own party means that you get a chance to do it your way, create your experience too, and maybe it's at your house or whatever, a small local place or something like that, something that you do and a whole bunch of friends come along, you get that experience.
Little bar somewhere.
Okay, I can imagine that's a little bit like when young comedians make their own little open mic show in some bar or something like that. Certainly the favors get paid forward, yeah?
Yeah, you got to practice on your friends first before you gotta go to the big stages, right?
Yeah, well, in the little bit of the difficulty with stand-up is that you need some sort of genuine crowd. So, I mean...
really honest friends.
Yeah, that's going to be the tough one. That's where stand-up might just differ slightly. That I probably shouldn't get the local cafe and they only get my friends. That's just... it's a little bit too much cheating in stand-up, where I can see that works with a DJ. That's a cool thing. My friends are coming along having a party. But if those friends are laughing a bit too easily, it's not... Of course. Yeah, but I can see that if you need a very easy entry point. I mean, we used to do it back in the day, back in Club Privé, when we had those original stand-up comedy with Louis and Eric in Club Privé.
What year was that?
Oh, shit, bro. 2010? It was early on. It was the first shows were in Drink Bar, and then we were standing on the coffee table doing a Drink Bar, and then eventually we convinced Kuno and Enna to let us come in and do it. It was the only place that would let us do it.
I even heard them from Tartu. Like I heard about the Drink Bar coffee table stuff.
Yeah.
I heard it's like you were getting really big like at that time.
Ah, cool. And I remember that we had those first shows because one thing we didn't realize back then was how important the venue is, and the setting of the venue does determine who will come and determine their mood somewhat slightly.
Definitely.
And I think what we didn't realize in the beginning, that because Privé, especially back then, this is 9+ years ago now, Privé was more relevant then. Personal opinion. It's not very relevant right now, but just a personal opinion.
Truth. Church.
And so, but the people, that meant that a certain type of people, even if it was just a comedy night, still a certain type of person tended to come to Privé. They were dressing up nice. Also, because back in the day, Estonians didn't quite get what stand-up was. They thought it was a bit closer to theatre. So they were dressing up like they were going to the theatre.
No way.
So we've got a little bit, and we can still see it. When we do a small town, we will see, like, we know that it's the first timers when you get all the people dressed up very nicely to come to the show. And we've had...
It's nice when people dress up.
No, it's nice, but we've had like 2 successive gigs. I think it was at Pärnu Kontserdimaja, where the first one was like pretty much sold out, but there was a lot of people dressed really nicely in the Sunday best, the suits, the formal outfits. And then 6 months later, we did it again with a different show, and there was lower audience, but they were all cool young people. Hardly anyone was in a suit. There was no people on their Sunday best, and we prefer that. I'd rather... I mean, it's cool that all the people come. Don't get me wrong, right? But I'd still prefer that, like, that was like, this is our audience. And it doesn't matter that it's only 80% full. Because now we got just our people. Because that's... Especially growing well, I'd love to sell all the tickets. And I don't mind who listens. They're the true core fans who are really going to go crazy about us and talk about us and talk to their friends and all that shit. So Club Privé, how
did you do it back there? Like, you have like seats or like people standing up?
We brought in the seats.
Oh, really?
So they brought in the seats and we were standing on the stage. There was big
with those stairs.
Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that. Yeah, there was some poor fucking delivery guy had to do that.
All right.
And I remember that because of the combination of that, it was new to Estonians. Okay, Estonians being Estonians and being a bit, difficult to come out of the shell. Them being a bit more formal and a bit more formal in Club Privé, it was hard to get them to laugh at the start because they hadn't got how this think works yet.
Yeah, I think the club was like smelling of sweat and everything.
Oh my god, that smell! And then they would only
it's really hard to laugh at that smell,
fucking offer like €6 Carlsberg beers, and it wasn't a good match in the end. We understood after a while. Look, appreciate that NR gave us the shot, and that was cool. But in the end, it wasn't that venue. We understood wasn't a good match for us. And yeah, we had to insert our friends. We understood after a while. We got like probably 10 of our friends through that audience, and that was enough to start the fire. We didn't start the fire. Like it was that, and that got the laughter going.
Course,
so yeah, we did the same thing. We inserted our friends to.
Yeah, that's how you start up basically. That's my pro tip for young DJs as well. Practice at home, and then do a party for your friends. And it's when they won't come, then find something else to do.
Fuck those guys. Come to my fucking party. I'll put pizza on and everything. Okay, focus. Right. Okay. So you started that, and then right. So do you have to make it? Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Have you done comedy in Illegard in Tartu? You know the.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if we ever.
Because that's a perfect cellar for like it has this like I don't know how it is right now, but it was like a segue for me because my first gig was there.
Oh shit!
So I just remember that because I think it's a perfect place with that brick walls and stuff like that. It's like a comedy cellar.
It is. If I'm trying to think, if we did back in the day, maybe it was one open mic. I can't quite remember, but it was never regular. If we had something there. But I was always a bit hesitant about Illegard, exactly because of that brick wall in the middle. It divides the room. Where maybe not such of a problem for you. You put another speaker in there, we're dancing. I mean, they want to see you.
Dance room in the one and the chill room in the other. So
maybe suits your style a bit more. I was always concerned
I haven't been there for 10 years.
About that big brick thing. Anytime you separate the room, people can't help but talk. They're in a separate part.
Of course.
Sometimes it can work. It worked really well at the old Perning. Out there next to the university, Tech. Unfortunately, it's closed down now, Perning.
No way.
Yeah, fair enough. Those guys kept it going for quite some time.
So they finished school and they were like, or
I don't know.
Students were doing that.
Can
right?
only they're pretty professional. I can only imagine it was just hard to keep a large venue going like that there. Also, maybe Also, maybe the summers, they closed significantly during the summer. And I remember they only opened for us. It was very nice of them. And we could pack the room, but that was like one night out of 2 months or something. So you got 2 months of rent, all those expenses that's not going. So maybe it was that. But those guys are now doing, they closed down that. They've got a cafe on campus called Nohik, where we do an open mic in there.
Right.
And now also those guys are working out at Copley. There's like the new Teleskivi going on out there. And it's like as Teleskivi was 10 or more years ago, an old industrial estate. And apparently it's done by the same owner or manager, whoever who originally started Teleskivi and also had a hand in Aparadikeskus.
All right. He's the same owner.
That guy, so he's involved in that. And the guys...
Hipster monopoly.
Oh, unbelievable hipster monopoly. And they've got out there a cafe. They've already done the cafe in a very hip retro thing. It's called Bohik.
Nohik and Bohik.
Bohik, yeah. And they've got an outside. It's open right now. And we're doing we're doing open mic for the first time there in a couple of weeks.
Oh, nice.
The Copley open mic. Can you imagine?
Nice. I just rode around there on my bicycle.
God damn, dude. It's like you're going to get chased or something by some drunk guys, right?
All right. I didn't go that far, all right? But, like all those places, there's no blister and stuff. Like, damn, it's good to be in Tallinn right now. It's just like it's good weather. When it's good weather and it's like, I was like, oh shit, this looks like Copenhagen or some Amsterdam. And then I saw like, oh shit, there's like a sativa store. You can buy some like the CBD that we were talking before.
Yeah.
You don't have to go anywhere anymore, basically. That's actually opening on this. When does this air?
As soon as possible, as soon as I put it up next couple of days.
All right, so Saturday, the sativa store, they're opening here in Baltiam as well.
Oh, yeah, but they've got that. I bought some the other day from there. They got the container there in the car park.
It's turning into a coffee shop, basically, so you can smoke it there, like a terrace and everything.
Oh, yes.
Finally. It's happening.
So if you guys haven't heard of this, so the idea is that the CBD has been legal in Estonia for a while. And CBD is marijuana without the THC. It's the psychoactive bit. It's bred out or they've done something to it. So, and I think the law technically says as long as it's below 0.3% THC.
0.2.
0.2. Okay.
0.2.
And it's supposed to, it doesn't get you high like marijuana does, but it's got some of the calming effects, and it's talked a lot about, there's a lot of, can help with a lot of different ailments. People take it for anxiety.
Still
and
has
things.
the medical features of marijuana, but without being it like a drug, basically, without fucking you up.
I like it. I'm a huge fan that it's there.
I've just tried it. I fell asleep with the amnesia haze. Actually, so it works. It works, actually, people.
Because I'm now, as I was saying before, I am now 25 days without marijuana. I have not smoked in 25
you want
days. Fuck yeah, I want a cookie, bro. I'm pretty good. Good.
Are you eating less as well?
Yeah, okay. There's a balance there for sure. When you're high, you can't help. I was solving this problem by just not having food at home. I would sit at home and get high and just simply have no options to eat. So nothing. So now I can actually, I'm putting food in my fridge. I can think about a day ahead in the future, maybe. Right. I'm getting a little bit more.
Head is clear, man.
Head is clear. I'm thinking clearer. I'm feeling better. But I have been smoking CBD to help with the physical. Like sometimes you just sit at home and you're like, oh, fuck.
Plus the habit stuff, right?
Yes, the habit, like that part. Yeah. And a little bit does, especially, I'm past it now, but at first the sleep is really bad. When you have a heavy weed habit and then you get off it, it takes you a while. The dreams get really harsh. Like they're very, I don't know if I have a better word for it. They're very hard. They're very intense. Not a nightmare. It's not scary like a nightmare.
You just remember stuff.
Maybe it's coming back. So I think I'm through that. Now that I'm more than 3 weeks away, I'm sleeping better again. But it was helping me with that sleep at the beginning as well, to smoke a little CBD before bed.
For me, it was I turned to cigarettes actually, because it was like, I don't know, 2011 that I like stopped like doing it like every day basically. So for me, it was just like going to cigarettes, and they just like made it into a habit, just like because I needed the habit of just like having like a
sure, that physical like thing. Yeah, exactly. That comfort.
Cigarettes, basically.
Okay. Are you still a smoker?
Yes. But I think we traveled far from our topics.
Oh, it's good, man. It's good. We could talk about different stuff. So, okay. So if you're young, okay. So let's say you're at home, you're a young person, you're mixing some songs. That's what I wanted to know. When you said you've got to know your music, and you need to know your songs, and you really need to know, because you said I need to know at this point is a good time to mix, and maybe you know some information about the speed or the beats or something. Like, do you write that shit down? Do you have like a little notebook, like this song and that song and these beats?
No. It's mostly like, most of the songs you basically know where it's going. So we listen to it like a couple of times. You basically remember like, okay, this bridge or this. You just, I think it's the only thing that I remember, because I'm really bad with names and stuff like that to remember stuff. But like remember like the musical notes and where it goes. This like I remember in music, but it really helps. Of course if you don't know, you can still play. And like playing house music, it's you have like 2 minutes of intros and 2 minutes of outros, so it's like easier to do it. But like with basically you have like what you call them? God damn it, brain no work. Got a muster in English.
Okay.
It's basically you have like the intro, the verse, a
bridge. Verse, chorus.
The chorus. You have all those things, but in different types of styles, they usually they're the same. Like they have like the build up of the song, of the pop song.
Oh, okay. The same structure or something like that. Yeah. Okay. So you can pick it. You start to learn to pick.
So it's there's like a system to it basically.
That might be the same way that, because I've listened to so much Estonian stand-up comedy and basically not understanding it. If it's new and in Estonian, if I've heard it in English, I can pick it in Estonian and I can follow along. But if it's like a totally new bit, I generally can't decipher it and translate it on the fly myself. But I can tell you when they're about to hit a punchline. I can hear the rhythm. I can hear nah. I can hear them building, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, why wasn't there a punchline there? Sometimes I'll be like, that bit, why put a punchline in the middle of that
laughing?
bit? Yeah, there should be. And is it just that there wasn't meant to be, or is this the shitty bit that no one laughed at potentially? But yeah, I can hear that rhythm. By not understanding the words, I've learnt so much more about the structure of stand-up because now I hear the rhythm, the tone, the pacing, and I can almost judge a young notwithstanding whether the crowd is laughing or not, of course, right? That's the obvious fucking giveaway. But I can almost help completely help a young stand-up comedian in Estonian at a basic level just from hearing all the other bits.
That's really cool, man.
Hours and hours of listening to those fuckers. Oh my God. So many. So let's say, okay, so you want to be a DJ and you're getting better at mixing, you're learning your songs, you're learning how to do that together, and maybe you put together your own party. How do you what is the next level then? Is it putting together some of your own stuff somehow? But then if you're just mixing, you're not really making it.
I'm guessing asking yourself where you want to be with that. I think like
what are some of the options then?
Setting your goals to be like realistic and just like going for them. But definitely when you start up, just don't be thinking about like the money and stuff.
Oh,
like
for sure.
The projects, just enjoy the music and the jets will come afterwards if you're if you're lucky.
I get that.
But I'm guessing. Just building your network, I think, is like the most essential thing. Like I think I'm still like building it. Like I've been doing this for 11 years now, and not for first. I think, well, let's say first 9 years, first 10 years, I was just going to the parties, like party after party after party, meeting new people, just like handshakes there, and smoking weed there, drinking here. So it's all about like networking and knowing people. Basically, it's I read it one line from a book about it as well. It's like the underground scene is really hard to get into, but if you're not there, you're nowhere. So basically, it's just communicating with people and just like getting into the crowds, the right like people you want to hang with, to play with, and that's like. Basically, the people who are around you, they're gonna make you. Basically,
I would even, and to go a step further in explaining that, anytime you want to get in a young artist, whatever it is they're doing, then they want to get into a scene and do that. That scene is already established. There's already a community. So you need to first work out what are the rules of the community, what are the standards of behavior, and the way that we act in that community. Meaning, don't roll up and be a fucking dickhead. Don't roll up and like say you're arrogant or like sit back, watch, learn. How do the people interact? Humble. Yeah, know your place. And it's not just like humble. Know your humble is it's not just know your place. It's like how do people communicate? How should you put forward your stuff? If you just watch for a while, right?
Yeah, it's like National Geographic. Just be behind the bushes. Look at that tiger going in the wild. But basically, and that was my second point, where I wanted to get like the being polite and stuff, and just being like, it just really, really helps. Of course, just be a good friend. God damn it, just be, of course. And you will see like people responding to that. I don't think it's only in like DJing and comedy. I think it's everywhere or all over the stuff. So basically, just
so knowing your place, being good, be a nice person, be cool to people, know your place, and I think experienced artists know when you're working and know when you're putting in genuine effort because they have put in that genuine effort themselves. They've got there, so they know what it looks like. They know when someone's faking it, but then they also know that. Hey, maybe you're not getting very far yet, but this person's putting in... Or like, for example, I will support to the end a genuine young stand-up comedian who's not going very far yet, but you can see is trying.
You can see his love for it and his exactly his passion for it. That's the really important thing, the most important thing, to have the passion for it, of course.
Sure.
Just to have like the passion in the music business, just to have the passion for the songs and digging for new songs and like stuff. I can see a lot of DJs that right, not a lot. No, I'll rephrase that. It's just a lot of DJs go really into that. Again, the barrier of English. Come on.
Yeah,
come
no,
on,
man, you're
Phil,
doing great.
Phil,
You're doing
Phil,
great. We
come
can
on.
chill. This is a podcast. We don't have to rush.
Yeah, you can cut it out.
Everything's good. No editing. No editing.
Basically, just when it started going all right, mediocrity.
Okay, yeah.
Mediocrity. That was the word I was looking for. So when they get a bit somewhere already and they're like bringing in some money so they can like live a bit, they stay in the same basic lane. They're not evolving anymore. You do, like doing it as a job already, doing the corporative like gigs and doing stuff like that, and just getting the money, but forgetting about the art and stuff like that. It's like never forget. Just try to evolve, do next things, try to produce something, try to like always be moving forward, I think.
And it's a balance as well, because certainly you gotta eat. You got to pay that rent. And of course, we've definitely seen it with the comedy. For me, a couple of years back, getting burnt out from doing those private shows. Now I had that expert inspiration that I've got to try to support this whole company as well, Comedy Estonia. But we can see it, like Carl certainly experienced. The dude loves doing a private show and he's good at it. He's good at it. Like not even like, you know, he just rolls up and fucking phones it in. Like Carl Ilari Varma has a genuine skill at pretty much performing anytime, any place, and doing a good job about it too. You know, like he can, and that's a hugely sellable skill. But that's him and I both have had that.
Like a host, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good host, but he'll do the taxi drivers, the fucking farmers, any place he is, he will. Some piece of shit, he will get in there, and you'll be like, all the rest of us be like, no way are we taking that job. Fuck that. And Carl will get in there and he'll make something really good of it.
Real original hustler.
Yeah.
Carl Varma.
But you've got to balance that as well. Like you've still got to be off doing some original work. And I fell into that trap, you know, just doing too many.
Yeah, me too.
And maybe it's also because at the party, you're doing a very similar playlist, a very similar set. Makes the comedy, you know.
In a little country as Estonia, it's when you start to repeat yourself, like, and people, it's like, I heard all the jokes, I heard all the songs already, you know. Yeah.
And also creatively as well, just that you have to play that same party playlist. I mean, maybe you can mix it up, I guess, different order of the.
Yeah, it's a bit easier, and you got so much music, right? So but there's only so much you can like if you're doing it like it's like I was doing before, like 4 or 5 weeks, 4 or 5 gigs a week,
and like company parties or some sort of more private event.
Everything basically, everything that went just needed the cash just to live, basically, right? So. And there was no room in between of like searching for new music, and so you're just so tired after like going like from 11 till 5 alone, like behind the decks, and like 4 times a week or 5 times a week. I think I even done like 7 days a week.
Oh shit!
But I was young.
I would say my advice in those circumstances is you've got to, as a young artist, first of all, we're in a good situation in Estonia that yes, it costs more to live. Yes, all the things are more expensive. But relatively, if you're trying, you can still live pretty cheaply. Like if you're young, maybe, I'm older, you're a little bit old, I'm older than you. Maybe we've got some sort of expectation of comfort in our lives now.
It's really hard to go back from that.
Go back. But if you're young and you're there, fuck it, bro. Eat those noodles.
Yeah,
have that shitty bed. No matter what, like take advantage of the fact that in Estonia, it's still... If you're trying, you can get away with a little amount of money, whatever.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because I think the number one thing that I can do to help a stand-up comedian is get them to the level that they don't need a day job. Just whatever that very low threshold is. For some guys, it's like $500 a month. They're like, Louis, I'm good. I live in some place. Lucky I don't have to pay rent. All I need is $500 and I can live. And I'm like, that is the number one thing that I can do to help them. They don't have to worry about a job.
That really helps with the art.
Some other bullshit. Right. Just focus on their art. So yeah, that balance between, you know, making sure that you're still being creative. You said before, I asked you that, okay, you're a young DJ, you're working up to it, you're trying to make some mixes, trying to put some good shit together. And then I said, what do you do? And you said, well, you got to make your goals. Like what could be those goals? I mean, I don't know, to go to clubs, festivals, make your own music. Like take me through some of those realistic goals that you could have?
I'm guessing like there's like if you're like a drum and bass DJ, there's some like really good drum and bass parties like Grind or Format in Club Studio or Tune In, or there's like a lot of them in different styles, different parties. I think for like a beginning DJ, that's one of the goals, just to be like a warm-up set, like for
Oh yeah, okay, because they've always ones earlier in the night.
Over there, or like a club you love, basically just like talk to the club dudes. I'm gonna go do it for free. Can I just come warm up and stuff like that? Don't start writing me emails now, but no, actually write to me, no problem. But yeah, I think that's like the number one. All right. It's after when you have practiced at home and you're solid with that. You have a couple of mixtapes like under your belt, like what you can send that you'd be proud of. Because I can hear when a DJ has like I'm telling him send me a mixtape, and I can hear that he done it like in 20 minutes, just like that really fast. You can hear it. You can hear it like how much work he put into it. So like just relax, do it properly, do it. Don't rush anywhere. Basically, just when you're gonna get there.
This makes sense. You can just hear it like the same way I can just hear stand up now. I can just hear.
Yeah, of course.
And you can, I guess, in the same way, maybe you can just hear if something's not great, if it's really unpolished, if it's really a bit rough, but you go, nah, there's some little bit that, like, I can hear if a guy's got set up punchline tag with their joke structure, even if they're shitty, I'm like, but you get the structure. This is what I'm more interested in, rather than that you've got the most original crazy idea.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there's another factor is like the quality, of course, of the music and the what kind of music you play in that sense. And that's like that's where we come back to the place, know your crowd, know where you're going to, in which club. So basically, if you like put up a EDM mixtape with like festival bangers and you want to come to play at Club Studio, then I know you don't know where you want to be playing at, because this is not the place for that. Right? So basically, that what we talked about before, like knowing the crowds, just being like, go to the clubs. Like basically, I'm hopeful that when a DJ wants to play at some club, he's been there at least 10 times before.
Makes sense.
Because then you know what works.
Otherwise, why the fuck are you being a DJ if you're not going to clubs, listen to music?
Exactly. So yeah.
Okay, know the clubs, know where that music is played, understand what's there. So when you talk to that booking manager there, whoever's program manager, whoever's looking after it, you can speak somewhat intelligently about what happens to that.
Of course, and it's really tricky because music is, it's like different tastes, different people. Sure. So and I think they've been like talking about music, like what's good, what's bad for like ages, like since Beethoven, Mozart. They've been talking like, I don't like this and I like that, but it's just taste basically. Nothing's good or bad, in my opinion.
I think there's styles as well. Like I try to frame it. Also in terms of like with Comedy Estonia and the groups that we have. I frame it as like, it's not so much are you a good or a bad artist. That's not necessarily for me to judge. I mean, maybe it is, but it's not. It's not for me like to say, oh, your art is bad. What you do is bad. It's just like, I think of it more like, what are your values and your goals? That's what I think about with our Comedy Estonia crew anyway. Like, why would someone be in the Comedy Estonia crew and not be in the Comedy Estonia crew, right? Like, it's not like you're good or bad. It's not like, oh, only good ones are here, or we have people that are struggling as well on our open mic who are trying. But it's like, what are the values you have as a comedian? Do you want to work? Do you want to try? You humble? Do you want to go somewhere? Do you want to help the crew get somewhere and then go along with that? It's easier for me to frame that now in terms of values. Are you values and goals? Because if you just go, yo, shit, get the fuck out of here. This pisses them off. This is bad. Everyone. And then also, it appears arbitrary to people. They go, what if Lewis thinks I'm shit? I'm out. I'm like, no. You can be as shit as you want as long as you're trying. As long as you have the same goals as us.
That shit, get the fuck out. That's what we usually say at song requests at like 2:30. Like, I think there was like a good meme somewhere in the internet, like Samuel Jackson on the one picture, like a DJ the first 30 minutes of his set, and there's like on song requests, and Samuel Jackson's really polite, like, yeah, what song? And the other picture is, I think, from like Django Unchained, when he's all like bloodied up and really angry, he's like, "What, motherfucker?" It's like at 4:30 or something. DJ's at 4 o'clock.
At the club, is there ever a time when you can go and ask the DJ for a request?
No. It's all right. For me, it's really depends at what time they're gonna come ask me that. It's
How so?
Beginning of night. There's like there's not a lot of people there. People just maybe chilling, not dancing at they just come in, just say, "Hey, do you know the song?" Being polite over there. I always hear them out. First hear them out, then screw them. Because it happens really, really rare, but sometimes they have really good songs. They have really good songs, but mostly it's like it's just like bleh. And no, in my opinion, you shouldn't come to a DJ, and you just go listen to Spotify at home if you want to listen to your song and stuff like that. This is true.
You've come there to enjoy the artist, enjoy the goddamn fucking artist.
Exactly.
You wait, are you the I'm gonna sound like a fucking uneducated, unresearched dickhead here.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
Which is what I am.
Do you know your
No,
guest?
I guess I don't know shit about my guest either. You're booking people at studio, is that right?
Club studio, yes.
Club studio. So what's your official title there? What?
I actually been thinking about it because program manager in English it means like IT stuff.
Oh right, no
programjuht in Estonian is like the musical program manager. Basically.
Program can have two definitions in English.
All right.
You can be a program manager. Yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
Program
like a program.
manager,
Program.
Event manager.
Event manager. Right. Yeah. Booking manager.
So yeah.
So it's your job to determine what DJs play at studio.
Exactly.
This is correct. Okay. Could it be that because sometimes you have, not often, if I remember from Rena's days, from Rena Rios, I've had Rena on here as well on the podcast.
All right, cool.
And because I know her back when she was working in Privé. That's how we know each other from those days. So we go back old school.
She's cool.
And she's
cool.
Fantastic.
Hi, Rena. I
Hi,
hope
Rena.
you're listening.
And because she's in charge of all of that fucking Andrea Bocelli marketing that's out there.
Right.
She's working, I think it's Monster. I don't want to speak too far out of school, but I believe it's Monster who are promoting Andrea Bocelli.
I don't even know.
And she's in head of marketing. So she's the one putting all those goddamn Andrea Bocelli posters everywhere.
All right, yeah, I've seen the posters, yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone in goddamn Estonia and all surrounding countries has seen those posters.
Where's that gig?
Songground.
Really?
Laulval, yeah, man, yeah.
Right.
So, as she said to me the other day, she said, yeah, we basically, I mean, it's a Songground. There's unlimited tickets. You know, there's almost unlimited amount of people that can 50,000 plus. That can fit into that goddamn place. So they just keep going and selling. And I'm very fascinated by it. But more that goes on, the more I think, I don't want to be a promoter selling 50,000 tickets. Oh, shit.
You don't want to be a promoter selling tickets for Sweet Spots Festival.
Oh. The cancel. That was the headline that got cancelled, right? And then...
Can't really comment on that.
Okay. No, just go to facts. The facts, if I understand, the facts were that the main headliner of Sweet Spot Festival got cancelled. And so then that obviously produced some difficulty with the audience that they said, hey, we really want to see this main headliner, but we bought this ticket and that was very much a gray zone then of
might be,
how much.
Might be.
I'm trying to reel him in here. I'm not trying to hijack anyone. I'm just trying to talk about facts.
I know.
And there was a good one that it was like, if you had bought the day ticket, then there was some argument that, okay, maybe if you'd bought the day ticket, then you could argue that you were there just to see that headliner or majority to see that headliner, so you were somewhat in for a refund. But if you had bought the 2-day ticket, then you were like, well, then that was more evidence that you were there for the festival and not just the headliner. So they weren't. Now, I can't remember, is that what they did or is that what I made up in my mind?
Because
that I thought was the resolution.
The thing is, I think they're buying all the tickets back. All the tickets.
Wait, hold on. That was last year. Are we talking about something this year?
Yeah, it just got cancelled. Like, on
right.
Monday. On
Monday. Lewis has no idea about nothing. I'm talking about last year. Oh, okay. So the whole thing got cancelled.
Yeah,
okay.
So you can see like the Estonian artists who were supposed to play there. Everybody's like doing their own sets and their own.
Okay.
So we're actually playing 28th, the same as the festival. We should have been playing there.
Oh, at the festival, right? You guys were booked. Gramophone.
Gramophone, yeah. Now we're playing at live. So if you haven't seen us live, that's a place you're gonna come.
Where?
with us.
Live? Where?
Live.
Oh, live. Down at the
Live.
water. Down near the water, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Marius's club. Marius runs that, doesn't
Yeah,
she?
exactly.
I know Marius. Okay.
Oh, so you're on the list already. All right. So you're coming, right?
Yeah, put me on the list. I don't know if Marius wants to put me on the list. We'll see. Anyway, but you can put me on the list.
No problem.
Okay, so I mean, I'm not trying to like talk shit about no one, right? Just trying to stick to facts and be that. Do we know why that event was cancelled?
I don't know how much I can talk about it, actually.
Oh, okay, because you're a bit privy to information behind the scenes.
I don't know how
Okay.
much Dave talked about it, but...
Fair enough. But the event's been okay.
Yeah, it's cancelled. It's...
Fair enough.
let's say that... let's not talk
No,
about
fair
it.
enough. Of course, if you're an artist, then you have some extra information that may not be, relevant to say here. So, okay.
Just
that's
look at the Weekend Festival, why it got cancelled, or why... Just go from there. It's
Was
like,
it the same people?
It's the same guy.
Oh,
one guy.
Okay. Well, this is where Lewis can start making conjecture because I'm not involved, so I can now. But although, as I understood, and again, Phil doesn't have to correct me here or anything like this.
I'm not here.
He's not here, so the fucking Weekend guys packed up, took a bunch of money or something. Allegedly, we're going to put this out allegedly. These are just rumors that I hear, and then fucked off and the whole
They
thing.
didn't pay anyone.
They didn't pay anyone, right?
Yeah. I don't think the festival that went that well. They went with like a lot of money in their pockets.
Wasn't last year really good? Wasn't that this hot year that like was just banging?
It was all right, but
could they
I think the festival in Finland wouldn't like everything went to shit that year basically. So
but they're running it this
money
year
problems.
in somewhere, Stockholm or Finland?
Finland, yeah.
Finland again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I went to a Weekend Festival a couple of years ago in Finland. Not that I would want to fucking go to Weekend Festival.
Why were you at Weekend Festival?
Because that was when I was the brand ambassador for Foster's Beer.
No.
You know Foster's Beer,
Of course,
Australia,
man.
mate.
Yeah.
Fucking about 4 years ago, Foster's Finland employ me as the Foster's brand ambassador. So there's me going, yeah, mate. Fucking Foster's is right on. You can search for...
I could see the cardboard in the airport already.
Yeah, before even that. I was the Foster's brand ambassador. You can find these videos. If you search them, Lewis or... I fucking forget what it's called. Somehow Foster's Finland, search it, guys, and you can see all these videos of me falling off a surfboard and me catching a football and like a blue singlet and shit. And... it was total, it was through an ad agency. So they've got all sorts of retarded ideas about how to sell this. Yeah. And this was, since it was 4 years, they were like, Lewis, the kids are into Snapchat. We're going to have Snapchat. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to, I had to go to like 5 Finnish festivals and just hang out and make Snapchat all day long. That was my whole goddamn fucking job that they pay thousands for. And literally and I was so goddamn bored. I mean, how many different Snapchats can you take every day that I used to just go around the back and find random shit with Foster's and just pull pranks, and then I'm climbing on top of these storage containers.
Where you have to be in the shot as well.
Some of them, a lot of,
right.
So I've got to make like 15 snaps a day. I mean,
just like put some like five guys doing it for you. Like here's the $10 to do some of
like
it.
crazy, just whatever. And it was so goddamn boring in the end. And not only that,
unlimited beer.
No, thanks to goddamn Finnish alcohol sales laws, they would give me like one beer a day.
I was really excited about this.
I was too. To get this right, I'm the goddamn Mr. Foster's ambassador, right?
Drinking Carlsberg somewhere. Yeah.
I had to get an empty can of Foster's from the bar, fill it with water, so I could promote Foster's. Do you see why this was retarded? Dude. So, but then what it was, I'd get water, I'd be like, yeah, mate, these Fosters are great. And I'd like pour it all over my head and shit like this.
Dude, I just realized you were Duff guy.
Yeah, I was. Yes. Duff man says a lot of things. Oh, yeah. I was. And
water. What the fuck?
I had to go to
that's horrible,
Weekend. Man. And I remember Weekend was so lifeless because it's just in a big patch of dirt. I don't know if it's still in that same location. I
don't know. I've never been.
It's just off to the, I want to say, east of Helsinki in like an industrial place. But it was just basically level dirt. You're on dirt. Not even grass, not even the beach. Because the Finnish don't give a fuck. They are like, because they're such drunk savages, they will line up all day, shitty place, high-priced, crappy beer, and they're, yeah, use the party, be drinking, and oh my god, I wanted to pull my eyes out, and it was the day.
That's like you're basically talking about Estonian Weekend Festival, basically.
Well, yeah, it was funny because I think the day before was Estonia weekend, and that was when fucking who was headlining? Wait, who was the previous really big act like 4 years ago in Estonia? I can't. Cartoon. I think it was Cartoon, and they were really big, and they were headlining weekend in Estonia. And then the next day,
I think they're doing Helsinki as well.
They were playing the shittiest, smallest stage in Helsinki.
I heard about it.
The fucking little thing, and no one was there. And I went and danced, and I was like, fellas, now, like, they saw me, and I went, hey, champions.
Really?
Like, no one was there. And it was just like 5 Estonians.
I was like a really early set?
Yeah, it was still mid-afternoon.
Okay, that's the shittiest.
Mid-afternoon.
Yeah, because I've like been with them on like in the Netherlands on Linguistic Festival. They just banging. Like in 1 year they did like, I think that was their first ever gig abroad.
Yeah.
And it was just like a little stage, but it was mental.
Fuck yeah.
And next year they were already on the main stage. Like one of the last artists is just like going crazy.
Hopefully that was just more. I think the good thing for Cartoon about being Weekend Helsinki was just to say that no one needs to know they're on the shitty small stage at 3 p.m.
Of course.
It just sounded cool to everybody in Estonia that they were also at Weekend Helsinki.
That actually works for starting DJs as well. That's a good pro tip as well.
How so? Tell me.
Try to get, when you go abroad somewhere, just try to get some contacts from abroad as well, because that's really good for you when like the local guys here, local promoters look at you. Oh, he has played abroad. You know, that's totally different. That's really good experience. That's totally different stuff. So you're gonna need that as well.
How, bringing it back to the DJ thing, I'm trying to. Okay, so Sweet Spot is interesting. I'll think of more to say about that. I'll investigate. I'll think more about that. I'm gonna read into more about that and how that, because I'm
actually really sad.
I'm very. Oh yeah, I mean it's not good when something
there
gets
was
cancelled.
such good bands were gonna play there. Muramasa was playing, and Honna was gonna play there. I was actually looking forward to just seeing those cool bands, and actually it was a really good festival last year.
And it's right in the center, which I think is very cool as well.
Yeah, perfect.
You don't have to go to.
You can go shower at home and go back. You know, you don't have to be in a tent somewhere.
How? So getting back to when you're a young DJ working your way up. So let's not. Maybe we don't need to comment on studio, but if you're going somewhere else, like how long should I play for free for? Because this is the tough part when you're a young artist. You're like getting exposure, and there's a balance there between exposure and being humble. Hey man, hey Phil, I see your booking. I appreciate you don't know who I am. I'd like to offer my services. I'm trying to be a humble guy. I'm not trying to demand money. On the other hand, one doesn't want to be taken advantage of forever. One doesn't want to, just devalue one's services in general, without telling numbers about what, what your club books for. How do you balance off those two things?
I think number one thing is just when you rock a party, when you're just that confident in yourself, of course ask for money. It's nobody is gonna be like no, we're not gonna pay. If they see you just like doing really well, of course it's and I'm all for like the young DJs. I'm all like never try to like fuck them with that, like and not give them no money. I think it's a job still. It's basically, but I think like doing one warm up set and doing it really well, and you're still in, when you're confident yourself about asking, then it's the right thing. If you're like did that warm up and it was shitty, it was like not so like confident in yourself, you think you need to practice more, then talk about it openly. You can come for another warm up set, do it better. I think it's all like in the confidence where to ask it.
Is this where maybe as well being a member of the community means that you might talk to other DJs and go, hey bro, level with me at this level, do you think I can ask for a couple of hundred, I don't know, whatever, right? What's reasonable?
Other DJs and just talking, just like, of course, it's totally logical.
Okay.
In my opinion. I've had a lot of like new DJs like come to me and like I help them a bit like to start, and always talking to me about like, okay, I got this gig, and how do you think? How much should I ask for it? And I was like, go for it. And like, always talk with the older gentleman over here.
Yeah,
you can talk to me.
Sure. And yeah, okay, to keep asking and to know, is that reasonable? And to so this then segues us really nicely then into managing DJs. And so I want to break down a little bit. If you are the program manager of studio, that means that you are offering jobs to DJs, right? You can hire them. Hey man, here's the slot. Would you like this slot? Here's the pay. If you accept these terms, then you're going to come and play and get paid. Cool. But you then spoke a little bit for a moment that you are you then the other side of that equation in any art form is let's broadly say manager, is someone who is agent. Sure. Agent, yeah. There is a more of a
I don't think there is an agent for DJs in Estonia, or is there?
Well,
it's all done like people just know everybody, and just it's done like.
Sure. I'll break it down for the audience, for people who don't quite get the definition between those two. In America, it's easier to understand this in the American context, because what happened in like the turn of the century or the 20s or something was the big movie studios were huge. Movies were just a thing for the first time. And the big movie studios controlled everything. And so they were making fuck tons of money, and the actors weren't making nothing. And so then it was somehow from that now America has a legal separation between manager and agent. And your manager, and the relationship, at least as much as I understand they have it, is that your manager is the one next to you. He's your guy. He's, or she, pardon me, absolutely. They're your friend. Like they're your one, right?
Extension of the band.
Your mentor, whatever you kind of want to think about it in that way. So they are helping to guide your career, helping you make choices. And then you have different agents that your manager talks to. There is one agent, at least let's say a general entertainer, one agent who books your live work, one agent who books TV, one who books movies, one who signs and tries to get you a book deal. You have many different agents trying to get you work, but they're all essentially talking to one manager. Yes. And then maybe you've got an agent who's getting you live work in America, and maybe you've got an agent who's getting you live work in Europe. So that's how I break down those definitions, and I agree that
that's totally
the concept of even having someone in Estonia is still so new that we definitely are nowhere near necessarily the agent manager, or the boundaries are extremely blurred to begin with. Yeah. So
there's managers and agents for bands, I know, definitely.
Okay.
There's some agencies who like book those pop bands and stuff. They're like real agents, you can call them here, but I don't think like DJs have them.
There's sort of party ones.
Might be.
We've been trying to get, because now we
like
have this
corporate ones.
I think for corporate ones, there's we have this great new sales manager, Christina, who's been out now for Comedy Estonia, trying to sell us. Because up until I want to say 3 or 4 months ago, we never did active sales, like to sell to the companies, the company party, the birthday party, whatever. It was always people coming to us. And so fucking
so those
lazy.
Like agencies in between those.
No, there was no one in between. It was either a company would come to us, so hey, we're the big IT company, and Louis, we want you to come and do the comedy at our party.
All right,
cool. So there was that, or they're not really agents, but the other big one was the event companies.
Event companies,
but that's again different. That's not quite an agency or a manager.
Yeah,
it's something.
It's when you got
different
like,
again.
It's when you got like a couple of them. With you working at like as a DJ, when you got and you proved yourself to them, it just like basically works like an agent, because you only do corporate gigs with them. Basically,
it is like that. You're right. So we were only doing that for a while, and now Christina is actually out there actively doing sales, approaching companies, having a better relationship with the event companies. And one of the things we were just discussing is that there are some of these websites out there that are like a booking website. That you can go onto the website and you're like, I want to book, we're going to have an event, I think, let's say private event, and how much does Taukara cost? And how much does Sissi cost? And how much does some other sort of entertainer, and there'll be a range of DJs. And I guess if you're having a party, arranging it yourself, you can go to that website. And we are going to try to put our artists on those as well, which you've also never done before.
Rosters,
I guess some sort of roster, yeah. So that...
Oh, wait, sorry. That was the page was where? Which one was that?
I don't know the names of them. I just know there are some of these ones. You go and you look, and some of them actually have the price. You can pull down, and no doubt it's a highly inflated dickhead off the street price, but you can see the difference if you want Talcard. Okay, there's the big one, and probably Udo's a bit, but Sissy's a bit less because she didn't win, but she's still pretty popular. And, you know, there's a different, somehow some bullshit scale ratings for everybody. And we've now decided that we're in a stage where we can put our artists there as well, that they can hold their own, and that's cool. And we think that our pricing is reasonable enough that, but what we had to do with that is we've got to put a few caveats on that. One is that I don't know how they work. Again, I'm not the one talking to them, right? So I'm completely talking out of my ass here. First thing is that whatever the sale price is, like they need commission. Cool. No problems. We want you, if you're off selling our artist, we want you to have commission, of course. We're going to reflect that. But we need to know the sale price. We need to know it for two reasons. One, I want to know if you're doubling the price. Fuck that. Because that's still a reflection on us. And it's also a reflection if that we think we're being sold for X amount and we're being sold for 3 times as much. Well, there's a huge expectation that we don't know about. So we need to know the final sale price. It's very important.
True.
The second one we need to know is that I think particularly with stand-up comedy, we need to control the circumstance, the sound, the lights, the circumstance, the host, the introduction, how the crowd is, what time it is done, when in the schedule is it done, how many people are there. We need to know all of that, because we'll turn them down. If we think we can't do it, like we think the party's too wild or it's too crazy or the venue isn't correct, maybe it's outdoors, we'll just say thank you, but no thank you. We think that we can't do a good enough job at your event. We know we have a big long list of questions that we'll ask. What about this? And what about this? And what about this? And to help us, and we can advise them. That's part of our sales thing. Right. So kind of what we're saying is you can sell us, you can have the commission, go for your life, but then give it to us. Because then we need to do this complete checklist, which we think only we can do best. It can't just be go to this address, turn up at this time.
Of course.
You don't know fucking nothing else.
Come on, of course.
Absolutely.
Definitely. We have the same, we got, with our band, we got the Made in Baltics team.
Okay. Who was Made in, tell me about, I don't really know. Tell me about Made in Baltics.
It's Sony Music, basically.
Okay.
But it's their, like, daughter firm, how you can say?
Yeah, sub-firm or something like that, yeah, sure.
Basically, but it's like a little label starting up, but it already has, like, pretty cool artists out there, I think.
So that's super interesting. What services do they provide for you?
Well, what we talked about before, that Spotify and that thing like that, I was just like hoping that you're not going to ask me like more questions about it because I don't know shit about it. They're doing this stuff actually.
Okay.
They're like for all those online presences stuff, like how the music is going up somewhere. That's their thing, and they also because one of the workers, Carl Sirelpuu, is our like a good friend of ours as well.
I know Carl. Yeah.
Sure. He's our agent.
Cool.
So basically, he does our bookings and stuff. And it's really actually good to have an agent because that's what we were talking.
So again, booking agent. So he's booking you into
on
live events. Cool.
Live events. It's really good to have him to have like a booking agent or somebody because it's like we were talking about that with you like many years ago because it's always like a bit hard to ask money for yourself.
Absolutely.
So how he wants too much money and stuff like that. So, but it's much more easy. Like, take the commission, exactly. Take the commission, but he can get you more money, actually.
Yes.
Because he can, like, ask. It's the humbleness that kills you.
Oh, you do it even for me. Like, I still get it. Like, even though now we have a sales manager, people still, I mean, they know me, and if they know, Louis is the host, so they'll just contact me Estonian style directly. And I'm now confident enough to say this is my price and, it's okay. But I felt that sometimes I will defer it off back to Christina and go, you do the sale, even though I could kind of do it because, you can't, I deserve more is Really hard to say.
Yeah,
But
in
my
the end, you just have
client
to go for
deserves
it.
more.
But in the end, you just have to go for it.
Sure.
Basically, just like over time, just go higher, basically, yeah. Until you get like Swedbank or somebody, just go like double.
Damn. So you've got the label Made in Baltics, and they help you book the live gigs, and they're helping you produce your music.
They help us to promote our music.
Promote your music,
They
okay.
help us because it's like a sub firm of Sony Music as well. So they got like a in with Sony as well. So and we're because our music is in English. We're thinking about the abroad stuff as well.
Cool.
So going to some we're actually going in September to play a festival in Germany and doing a jazz cafe gig in Hamburg as well. So just like a little mini tour. And just hopefully we're gonna get some more gigs over there. Just like that's actually on me and Carl, like to do that stuff. But
because they've got the contacts through the label.
They got the contacts,
right,
and they do all the radio pitches. The Media Baltics team. They are the guys who go to the radios and talk to them like this is the new hot shit. Like you have to play this and stuff. So no, it's really good to be with them. Actually, it's like a little label. It's only 3 people, and it's like a little extension of family basically. Perfect. They know what we want. We know what they want. So it's not like a major label thing when you don't see the agent or manager. I don't know for how long, but it's just like.
We should also be hard in Estonia as well. Like, come on, we're not that big a big country with big entertainment industry. What's the I mean, is that the payoff down the line for Made in Baltics? Is if they get you now and they work with you now, that when you're much larger and your earning potential is larger later, that's when they sort of can recoup their costs.
Basically, yeah. So, yeah, I think we got like a contract for 1 year right now with them. So basically, if we do like really shitty, of course they can drop us and stuff like that. But I think they have like, if we're starting doing better, they can automatically renew it for another 2 years or something like that. I think that was in the contract. I didn't even read that, man. I know those people. I know where they live, man.
That's the classic story. Okay. Yeah, we didn't read the contract. We just... No, it's cool. And I mean, my overall thing through this podcast is I'm very anti-establishment and very anti. But I don't mean that, not to say every label is bad and everything is bad. Not at all. No, I think they, particularly in music, right? That's
But it actually helps with the music as well, be a bit anti-establishment and stuff like that. So we already actually like... as a maybe a bit of a joke, but we still a bit hate them because well, like we seen in the movies and
that's what you got to do.
You should hate the label just a bit or something like that. So yeah.
But important to have that. I can see that having a sub label, how important that is to get that personal contact from those, but then still have some sort of they've still got someone bigger they can call if they need some help or some contacts exactly. Or some resources.
That's what we're hoping for. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Are you doing any work? If you're okay, so you're the program manager of studio, but you're not doing any work as a booking manager of other DJs for other, like getting them other gigs or something like that. Are you doing anything? Only
my friends, like who, like they were, like I told before, like a couple of starting DJs who like came to me and like, can you help me with that? I was like, no problem, of course I can help them, and then I just got them with me. And like toured, like basically every place with them, just having them.
Oh, be your opener or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
just like showing them the ropes, basically. Yeah. Just like how much to drink and how much I drink. Basically, they were bringing me gin tonic. So.
Chop, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Whose name's on the poster, bitch?
Yeah. You play, I'm counting the money. No, so not actively, not booking them, but definitely when somebody asks me to come somewhere and I can't or I won't, then I always have like a couple of guys who I call, so I like help them and stuff like that. I've been actually thinking about it, like you told as well, the agency and for DJs, like to know everybody, just grab them and have them all under the one roof. That's like, let's cut this out because it's a really good idea, and I'm just like fucking talking. No, but
but I think I think as geniuses as we goddamn are, Phil, I don't think it's an original idea.
Yeah, true.
I think
true.
Like someone, you know what I mean? Like it just takes someone to do the work.
In the end, I always come back to the same place because it's Estonia, everybody knows everybody, and a lot of the promoters will go, who the fuck he think he is? He has an agent or something? I'll book somebody else then, you know? There's like there's a lot of DJs as well, so it's
that was because I mean I remember years ago we had this talk like, hey, we're booking comedians, they're already talking to event companies, we're already going to parties. Would it be that much of a stretch to also book DJs?
But
too?
they already know the DJs as well, so there's like...
Sure. But then there was two sides to that, I feel. That I mean, we never obviously went through with this idea because eventually I decided that it was better to just focus on stand-up. That yes, it seems to be a similar sort of thing, it seems to be that, but there's also some advantage in business of just focusing on your thing, getting hyper-focused on that.
And you were high back then, so...
yeah, I was high as fuck, bro. Years.
Maybe now, when you're clear here.
Yeah, I'm like, why don't I do the DJ thing? I feel so smart. Why don't there were two things that we were trying to do to counter that. One was that there is just inherently... it's inherently good to have a manager, I believe. Well, because I am a manager. So, of course, I inherently believe in the advantage of us, even at some level... when you get to a certain level of having a manager to help you, guide you, be your equal, and to mentor you through that process. And I'm going to get back to that a little bit. I want to talk a bit more about that. And the other one was that we were thinking maybe there was at least that if my name was recognizable and they're like, oh, it's like I already know everyone in the clubs through the work with Comedy Estonia. So at least that it's like, well, who's this dickhead coming with his manager? No, it's just, oh, hey, man. Hey, you know me. I'm Louis. We do the things at your clubs. We're also doing, I could maybe come in. Maybe this is the idea. I don't know, to avoid that resentment or something. But anyway, that our plan never came through in that way. It's just my own ego thinking that I'm amazing and think that everyone's going to love me and no one's going to resent me. Of course, fuck, what am I thinking?
There's, when you have a bad manager, then it might be bad for the artist as well. Like, because I just wanted to say this one rap artist, he has this, I think it's, maybe it's just the girl he knows and she's just trying to help. But she does this chain mail. I can see she sends to all the clubs. She can even go to the BCC side when you don't see the others, you know?
Yeah.
And I can see she's sending like twice a year, 3 times a year. She's sending the same mail, basically. He has a new single out. Book him, please. And basically I can see all the clubs she's sending it to, you know? It's like, I'm just like, hell no, I'm not booking that. It's just work. So I actually, all right, bad art, get a new manager.
Dang.
That doesn't work for promoters, I'm telling you. But at least hide the other clubs.
And is that also because in Estonia, well, let's say anywhere, right? Any kind of thing, like, it's the personal touch. You just want to feel like, God damn, I'm not at the end of I get it too. Some comedians, international, a lot more, international comedians, I know, and I kind of get it. Fair enough. I'm just some dickhead in Thailand, maybe I don't. But if you're working one scene, if you're working the Estonian disco, DJ music scene, God damn, there's not that many people. It's not, Jesus, you're so fucking busy that you can't write a personal email. Just write almost like a sample text, change a few bits. Dear Phil,
exactly.
At Club X, fill out a little bit in there and make it look...
Yeah, make me feel special.
A little bit. Like, it's not that many people to...
Exactly.
To help. Okay.
It's going to take you an hour.
Right.
To go get all clubs, basically, in Estonia. An hour.
How should a young DJ know? They build themselves up. Let's say they've even got an opening act at a couple of clubs. They're starting to build a niche. They got a little mixtape. Some little bit by little bit. They're working hard. They're not being too crazy. So let's say you are a humble young DJ and you're trying to just work hard and do your thing.
Not possible.
Doesn't happen. Doesn't fucking happen.
No humble.
There's no humble. How do you know when you're ready to have a manager? And sub-question beyond that, I've noticed that when you're having managers, there's two styles, kind of broad styles of managers. You can either have an established manager that maybe they've got a couple of artists already or they know something, or you can be like we were with Comedy Estonia and we're all dickheads, we're all at the same level, but hey, one guy's smart at business, one guy's great at the jokes, and we're going to try to do it together and hopefully grow up together. Is, either one of those styles. I can see advantages in both.
I think when is the perfect time to have a manager.
Yes.
It's basically when you feel that you don't have enough time to do the artistic side of it. I think because you need to do the managerial stuff. Definitely, you have to like this at this day and age. You have to like.
It's important to know it. It's important to at least know it.
Yeah, know it. Do the commercial stuff, like do the like Facebook and Instagram and everything on there. Do the bookings. Do them well. Get more money for yourself. Do it, but have the whole information all out, and then you have to have time to produce. If you produce, like practice DJing. If you like, definitely practice DJing, young DJs.
Yes.
And whatever else there is. So I think when when there's like more commercial stuff and more booking stuff than your practicing time and your like making music time, then and so basically what I'm saying, when there's so many emails coming in, there's so many people want you, then well, you can afford a manager then.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically to have some more time for the things that's gonna take it to another step.
Right.
So basically, yeah.
That's wise. I think that sounds very reasonable. So what about then when you do get to that level? So okay, so if you're already at that level, I guess you're already still a little bit established, right? You're obviously getting booked, you're getting some work in some areas. So, you know, is it possible that you could have, let's say, a smart friend, maybe they're real good at business and they're legit, right? They're legit.
I think that's
they
the best way
plan,
to go.
right? Or is it to get you think that's a better way to have sort of a legit friend who just gets it? They're smart, they're squared away. Okay, here's the plan. I'm gonna talk humbly and contact these club managers, ask them. I'm also gonna try to be part of the community myself.
Yeah.
You think that might be a smart way to go?
I think so, yeah. Well, getting a person you don't know, like somebody off the street who maybe doesn't know what you do, is like, it's like playing a lottery basically. But a guy who you know already, there's something you shouldn't mix money with friends, stuff like that. But
well, there's a balance there. Maybe not your
just
best friend, right?
Yeah,
but
just
someone.
Don't give too much shits about money. I think
Sure.
just come on. But well, actually, this is like I don't know, because
It's almost like a business partner?
I don't have a manager in my DJ stuff.
Yeah,
I don't have a manager, so I don't know actually. I don't know what I'm talking about.
But you don't. So you've never had that problem, or you've been able to balance off, because you do a lot of different things as well.
Yeah, right now I'm doing like DJing less because I have club studio and a band as well. So I basically choose only the gigs I want to do. Basically, I don't have to like go and do like those 7 gigs a week, stuff like that. So yeah, I just manage. I just try it like.
But are you at also like
drink less? And,
did you come up, or is it something that you have been grinding away for long enough that you have enough of you're enough of an well-known, enough of an elder on the scene that, hey, PhilGood, hopefully that PhilGood's name means that, hey, everyone knows who I am. They know I'm a reasonable guy. I have a good reputation. So now maybe you've lived through a difficult bit.
More or less, yeah, I think so. It's there. So people who want to know, they definitely know me. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry I'm talking like past the microphone sometimes, but I just...
No, it's all good, bro. It's great.
But no, I'm talking to the guys who listen. I'm not talking to you, man. But yeah. So basically, the question was
I mean, you right now, because you're saying you're a bit unique in that you're at your level, a respected DJ who's getting work and known a bit for their stuff and doing different interesting collaborative projects with other well-known artists, implies you're at a certain level, but you don't have a manager as such.
Yeah, I think where we're in Germany, where there's like 20, 30 big cities you can go, and when you go on tour, you have like a lot of places to go at. But here it's like Estonia, you basically have like, I had 3 clubs that I was playing out of 4 maximum. So basically I knew the guys from there.
Yeah.
They knew who I was, so they were like booking me, and no problem with that. And there's like a couple of agencies who do the corporate stuff. So it's not too much work actually to be doing that.
Once you're already established, once you're in the scene, yeah.
And the other thing is about the established part. I'm starting to realize that like our promotion goes like on Facebook, right? And we're just like somebody playing here and blah 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 blah. When you're playing those clubs that work perfectly, like there's people there every time. I don't think like 90% people know who's playing.
Because
So
the club, people are coming to the club,
Yeah,
not for the event.
Yeah. So
okay.
basically, that's like established, and people know who I am. I don't think nobody gives a shit who I am. I think, in my opinion, it's just like okay, he's doing a good job in that club. That club works. All right, it's going well.
Okay, by
I think
reputation.
Studio
Studio's one of. I've always observed Studio's one of those clubs that is still banging. Like I think, I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass, but when I talk to people about clubs, because I'm opinionated, I think that most clubs in Tallinn are a piece of shit. And I think also my humble observation is that Tallinn is not in love with clubs as it used to be 5 to 10 years ago.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But Studio is the shining example.
We're doing all right.
Is the shining example of a club that is still respected and still people wanna go to.
Thanks, man.
It was all Rena, wasn't you, fuckhead? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
All right. Yeah, man. Nobody reads the descriptions on Facebook. Just talking shit about me over here, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, young DJs.
What do you do?
What you get after
are
10 years.
you're only the program manager? Not only. So you're the program manager. You're not in charge of marketing a studio. It's not your.
No.
That's not quite your side.
No, we got a special guy for this.
Right.
This area.
I was speaking to someone the other day who is promoting some DJs and putting on some nights and smaller things right here and there and around the place. And we were talking about how to promote on Facebook, and it occurred to me that I think Comedy Estonia does really well on Facebook, but I think that we're not some fucking geniuses of social media.
I think
it's just because our product is inherently viral.
Yeah. That's the better the jokes go with your guys, the better it goes. Because I just saw, I think
Carl's got a video out this week that's going really well.
Ardos.
Okay,
Ardos this post you reposted.
Oh yeah, his tweet. Yep, sure.
It was just something, but it's unique, you know. You have this like
and it's harder to do for DJs. I started to think like, well, fuck, if I was promoting a DJ now, what viral content would I make to get people to share? And
one of the shittiest thing to share is a song. It doesn't reach. The best is video and pictures, right?
So what can you do as a DJ to make some viral content that people might like to share? It's a tough one, right? Yeah.
I won't give anything up. This you have to learn for yourself. Sorry, young DJs.
He doesn't have an answer.
Yeah. Basically.
I've been thinking about it, trying to help my friend out and think, what could it be? And that made me, that humbled me and realized, wait, I actually don't know fuck all about social media.
Do you know this house party Bianca?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, you're
okay.
old. You're old. But they're doing like really cool videos every time before the party. They always have like a storyline and stuff like that, and just the DJs are acting in those.
Oh,
so
okay, that's
they're
cool.
like inviting DJs to play. That's perfect. Let's just be creative with that.
Sure.
I don't think that goes that viral though. It's really popular party, but it doesn't go like, it doesn't go to the millions and it doesn't go to the thousands. But
maybe something, at least something, right?
Yeah, but it's somebody's trying,
Sure.
It's cool. But the viral stuff, I don't know.
It's tough, right?
Jackass.
Because also, all right, what would be then? I guess I'll try a few more short fire questions as we're probably naturally coming to an end here, but I'll a few short fire. We can keep talking. I mean, this is a short one for me, bro. Usually we're well over the 2 hour mark.
I just want to smoke, man.
What is the best social media for a DJ to be on? Or should all of them, or what?
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Because I think that
right now it's Instagram.
Right. Yeah.
I think so.
Because I think being on Facebook these days is a fucking waste of time.
But you need to do events on Facebook.
That's it, isn't it?
You need to do events on Facebook. But it's really interesting that it's.
Yes.
I think it's only.
You're right.
It's only Estonia that's really big on Facebook. Because
how so? What do you see in other countries now? How so?
No, I don't think they use Facebook that much. They're not like you can see like the events on in UK, some like really cool concerts and stuff, but they are not that big on Facebook, but it's all sold out.
Where are they big then?
So they have their own systems, like the ticket offices and stuff like that. And I think
they have more entrenched ticketing through the individual venues. And
And right now we have this like ticketer and.
But they're ticket sales. That's not quite
sales, but they're building their their homepage looks like.
Okay, I'll give you that.
And we have like our homepage and club studio, and I thought like, who goes there? But it's a lot of people.
You think it's decentralizing again? That's interesting because we centralized for a while then on Facebook.
And there's a lot of people going on there
and we're
buying
decentralizing
tickets. We have like a pre-sale as well for every
right. You
party.
can buy them online directly through Studio.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you can go and people are buying them from there as well. So it's maybe changing. I don't know, but still, Facebook is for events is like number one. You can do.
I'm gonna get back to Facebook events because I was just thinking about that last night. But I read that in Latvia recently, that Delphi Latvia just bought the second biggest ticket seller, to Bilešu Paradis, I think.
All right.
And Delphi just bought it, and it was very interesting. We were having, because we run Comedy Latvia as well, so we were having a discussion about what are the implications of that.
Comedy Latvia.
No, good. They're much smaller. Comedy Latvia is very small. It's just sort of like 5, 6 core, 7 core guys, because we've only recently hired a person down there. So up until now, it's just been comedians banging into each other, trying to open those mics, and me trying to help them from here. And I'm not very good at managing from afar. So
doing it in Latvian over there. Or?
Yeah, in Latvian. Yeah. So we're running some bigger international shows there, but also a lot of Latvian open mics and smaller comedy nights as well. And now we finally hired an operations guy down there to do stuff. And so, I'm interested in that shit. But so the biggest ones are, as you know, Pileti Levi, biggest ticket agency in Estonia. And then that's the same company in Latvia, Bilešu Service. And it's the same company, right? You look, it's the same layout, it's the same company. And they're the biggest in either country. So that second biggest one in Latvia just got bought by Delphi, which I thought was very interesting for 2 reasons. One is that probably... Pileti Levi is so big and so dominant in the marketplace that maybe these up-and-comers, while they're doing fine, they're still way down here. They're still not even the fucking zone of Pileti Levi. So maybe a cash injection from a bigger owner is what they need to grow. Maybe they need that to push up, to do more marketing, invest in their infrastructure, some shit like that. It was also put to me that maybe Delphi wanted to buy the second one to market. They do a lot of their own events, and it's also to become, not quite to bring it in-house, but to sort of partially bring it in-house as the Delphi ticket platform, because they're doing their own things too. Remember back in the day when friggin' BDG decided that they got sick of Pileti Levi and they made Ticket Pro, I think it was, here?
Yeah.
And then we had to sell at the Nokia concert hall. You had to sell through goddamn Ticket Pro. And I was all so pissed off back then because Ticket Pro was so less viewed than Pileti Levi. I was spending like 2,000 more per big show because they forced you to be on Ticket Pro because of the traffic. And then eventually BDG gave up on Ticket Pro and sold it to Pileti Levi. And I was so goddamn thankful that I could use Pileti Levi to sell that whole.
That's the thing with the little ones, right? That's the problem.
Right.
So people don't go usually on that site to buy the tickets, but that's what they're looking for actually. Those little ones, they're looking for like the new partners.
Yeah.
Because we had in studio we had a guy come in as well from I think Ticketer.
Yeah, they've talked to me as well.
Yeah, it's just like let's work together and stuff like that. But
if you've already got your own platform to sell your own tickets,
no, we got GateMe.
Oh, GateMe. Okay,
yeah, we got GateMe, and
it
just works perfectly for us because it's like list managing, more list managing for us than even selling tickets.
Sure.
It's just like really comfortable zone, comfy in that GateMe zone. But yeah, they're always looking for like big partners. I think that the cash injection you're talking about, I think that would come with basically having like Estonian concert demand, just saying fuck to Pileti Levi.
Right.
And they would just do all the tickets from like ticketer.ee that would like solve the problem. They're going bigger and bigger, I think.
Because I think it was a while back now, maybe I forget how many months ago, maybe it was the end of last year, when Tommy Cash did his big gig, and it was through Ticketer, I think. And I thought, fair enough, that's a case for using that because Tommy Cash is big enough to bring the people in. That's, the difficulty is for everybody else. We need to do proper marketing and convince people to come where you go into Tommy Cash or not, right? He's so big that people would use whatever the fuck service it was on. So that, to me, that made sense that for Tommy Cash to put the tickets there. But basically for me, I'm not jumping ship from Philip Nikolajev anytime soon. To me, their commission is not that bad. They're our good partners. We know them well. They're really very flexible. They really help us a lot. The commission is not that bad. Like, oh, we'll give you... But
it's more expensive than the others.
Oh, yes. It is a few percentage points more expensive, but it's still not that bad considering... And then when you factor in that the traffic that Philip Nikolajev gets, the credibility that you're on Philip Nikolajev and people can see it and it's there and it's the place to be, that is worth money to me. And it's worth more than the extra percentage points of commission that Philip Nikolajev are a little bit higher because they're the premium service in the market.
But that's the number one place you go if you're looking for something to do, right? Philip Nikolajev.
Yeah.
Because even on Facebook, you're not invited to every event. So you just see the events basically that you're invited to.
The algorithm is fucked,
Facebook.
But that's what, like... Okay, so to try to maybe wrap up just with the Facebook issue then. So Instagram shaved off photos of Facebook and went, hey, we're our own thing, right? So Instagram said, we're just going to do photos. And they're just photos. And then Twitter is essentially, we're just status updates. We don't give a fuck about nothing else. Like, yeah, they've got pictures and stuff, but we're just about status updates. And then because my business and your business is events, I'm very carefully thinking like, what could be the thing to chop off events? And the conclusion that my friend and I came to last night discussing this is it's extremely difficult to chop off an event because an event is inherently social. By very definition, an event is more than one person. I can put up a photo on Instagram. No one fucking knows who I am. It doesn't matter. Maybe it gets a little share, but I need people to make my event system popular. And without the social shit around events, you're just a goddamn directory lookup service.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, goddamn. Because they do, Facebook has an app. I think it's called Places. And
really?
It's essentially just, essentially just their events. No, it's called Local. Sorry. It's called Local. And it's basically just showing you Facebook events.
Oh.
And you can search by the region but it's so goddamn dead because it's just showing you events. And yeah, I guess you can see your friend, but there's no social aspect to it. So it's just a directory because they already have a huge...
I wonder will Facebook start selling tickets at some point?
Facebook already have an integration with Eventbrite.
All right.
We did that when Sander performed in Australia in January. We sold them the tickets directly through Eventbrite. And as we discovered, if you've somehow got your credit card plugged into Facebook, it was automatically happening. You could buy your ticket through Facebook and never leave the Facebook interface.
Jesus.
If it goes through Eventbrite.
All right.
So that's the problem with Eventbrite. It's not social enough, right? It's still just events without social. Why am I looking at Eventbrite?
Yeah. I think one of those, just coming back to the little ones, the Ticketer and the silver tickets and whatever those are. I think a lot of promoters love it because you can buy with your phone credit, you know? You can,
oh, really?
So the ticket shows up at your mother's Elisa. So that's how you get the young people to come to your party. So basically, if they don't have cash, they still can buy tickets.
I really like that scheme. That's why I love putting stuff on my phone because it goes directly to my company account.
Yeah.
So it's not like the accountant never looks that deep into it, so you can put whatever the fuck onto your phone bill and it just gets paid by the company.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that. That's really interesting. And that would be more, I mean, maybe not a €50 ticket, but a €10 ticket to get into the club.
No problem.
Works. Okay.
Really cover your tracks, you know.
That is the one thing. As much as I love Philip Nikolajev and, those guys, we're good partners with them and I love those guys. Shout out to Kurt over there. He's always helping us out. Fucking rock and roll, brother. But goddamn, their back-end interface sucks. They made it better a while ago, but... What I think... the one thing that I think that these ticket companies could help... The one way that they could convince me to switch... is if I believe in the big data is eventually going to solve a lot of our problems, the algorithm and the big data. And so they've got all of this data, right? From every show, every ticket sale, where it happens, the time of day, all this fucking data, right?
Mm-hmm.
Run a goddamn algorithm over that and give me better information about my audience.
I think legally they can give you that,
Sure,
right?
abstract it. No, I don't need to know where fucking Joe Blow lives, right? You don't need to tell me all that shit, right?
But really,
abstract that data.
Yeah, even now you can get the email addresses. You actually legal, you can get them.
No, probably the GDPR means you can't. I don't even want email addresses.
Yeah.
I want to know things like what is the better marketing strategy in the town? What we analyze shit like did you know, probably not surprising, that Valga is our most offline, the city that buys tickets the most offline for us. Because you can buy at the outlet, at the store, at the kiosk, at the Rimi or whatever the fuck, and you can buy online. And Valga is the city where they buy the most offline, which does have an implication that the most fucking rednecks out there not using computers, right?
The South.
So in the deep South, right? But there's got to be abstract information, not singling out that but they can tell me.
Doesn't give you that.
No company does right now. I think there's.
No,
I think that's where the.
I think it was Silver Ticket who came to us, or they have that. Like they have the. I think they have that information.
More insights. I would love.
Like on Spotify or somewhere. You can see like the countries and.
I mean, they do, but more. I want more. Because what I'm trying to do, essentially, the formula becomes, the better I can target my customers, the less I have to spend on marketing. Definitely. And if I can spend less, like if I can spend $1,000 less on marketing, I will give that $1,000 to the ticket company. I am fine to spend the same amount of money, but if it means less effort, I don't have to put up some posters. I don't have to think about a marketing plan. Mm-hmm. If I can just give more money to the ticket company and they say this, this, and this, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm still saving money. So they could add more value and charge more for these premium services, because they would reduce my marketing costs. This is what I want. Someone fucking make this, please. Take my money.
Talk to Silver Tickets.
Okay, I can talk to Silver Tickets.
I think so. There was something about that exactly.
Okay, cool.
So something over there. Maybe it was like an under the table deal. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe it's coming. You know, it's always coming, right?
Yeah.
Skynet's going to take over, and Skynet's. We've handed. It was July 23, the year 2021, when we handed over complete control of our ticket sales to the algorithm. That's when everything went wrong. Let's wrap it up, bro. Unless there's some more topics. You good?
I think I'm good. Just people listen to Gramophone on
Spotify.
Spotify.
Tell us where they can find out more about PhilGood and Gramophone.
www.gramophone.com is where we at. And basically just listen to our music and come to the parties and, I don't know, come to Comedy Estonia as well.
Absolutely.
Have a laugh at home.
We've got Carl's filming coming up next week in Heldeke. There's still a few tickets available for that as well, to see the first film special from Carl Larivarma. And follow Phil, follow him on the things. It's Estonia. You can find you on all the social medias and all the...
Yeah, but there's a lot of PhilGoods all over the world. So just look for Dr. PhilGood with, if you know Nupogadi, the cartoon. So he's dressed up as Hunter S. Thompson with a cigarette in his hand. That's me.
Nice, bro. This has been really good talk. Thank you for coming along.
Thanks, man.